Did you know you can make your own flour tortillas, gluten-free? Here they are. Hey everybody, welcome back to Purely Gluten Free. On this channel, we try to demystify gluten-free cooking with the right ingredients and the right tools so you can cook gluten-free food at home that's just as good as anything else. And today we're going to do flour tortillas. Not only are we going to make flour tortillas, we're also going to show you what to do with them. We're going to turn them into burritos Juarez, so let's get cooking. Alrighty, so our dough's been resting in the fridge for an hour. It's nice and cold. We're going to get this onto our counter with some flour. We're going to knead it a little bit just to make sure it's all come together. There's no yeast in this, so we don't have any bubbles to get rid of. It doesn't have to proof again. We just want to make sure it's just one homogeneous mass here. Nice and smooth. All right. We're also adding a little more flour just to make sure that it's not very sticky. That's good. All right. So now that we've got that done, we are going to make 75 grams balls out of this to make our flour tortillas. It should make about an 8-inch tortilla. That'll be good for the burritos we make. If you want a smaller tortilla for things like fajitas or tacos, you can make a 50-gram 6-inch tortilla. All right. It's a little bit over, close enough. One great thing about using grams is if you're a few over or a few under, it's not going to make that much of a difference. Rolling. This should make about, out of the dough we made, it should make about a dozen 6-inch tortillas. All right, in order to roll these, we're going to put our parchment paper down that I've cut to the appropriate size. We're going to spray it with a little spray. That way, it won't stick to the paper. Always with gluten-free doughs, you got to deal with the sticky. I'll press that down. See the spray comes right off. We got us 8-inch tortilla. So we're going to rinse and repeat. So that was the top. We're now going to make this parchment paper the bottom. Grab us another one. We're going to spray that. Another tortilla. All right, we got all our tortillas pressed, and then the last step to making these is just to put them in a dry pan for a little bit. Got us a dry stainless steel pan here. So we're gonna preheat our stainless steel pan here, and we're just gonna cook these one at a time. I've got it on a medium heat at this moment. So I just pulled out a sheet pan that I've got next to me. So we got someplace for the tortillas to go. Give that pan a couple minutes just to heat up because you don't want this to stick. We're not gonna put any oil or anything in the pan. We're gonna do these dry, other than what I've sprayed it with. So if you put it in too cold of a pan, it's going to stick pretty good. So we don't want that part. See if we got it. So we're just going to flip that over into the pan. We're going to peel our parchment paper off. We're just going to give this 15-20 seconds aside. And at the end, we're going to come out with a flour tortilla, gluten-free. Let's just flip that over. That's what you want, a little browning on each side. These gluten-free tortillas are going to be pliable. They're going to be able to fold into tacos. You're going to watch me make a burrito Juarez with it. Woohoo! That's what we need. So we're going to rinse and repeat that as well. I found that corn tortillas are easy to find gluten-free. The flour ones, you got to hunt for. So that's why I'm making this video, so you can make them at home. You can put these Once they're cooled down, just layer them in a Ziploc bag, stick them in your freezer. You can pull them out whenever you need them. That's what we're looking for. Nice little char on the tortillas. Now that the pan's been heated through pretty good, there's a lot of residual heat in that pan, so I've turned it down to low just to make sure we're not overdoing them. If you got one that doesn't want to come away from the paper, try a different corner. Sometimes the pan will keep a hold of it. All right, we got our last one here. We're gonna let these cool down a little bit, and then we will roll one of the best burritos you've never had before. Burritos Juarez. All right, now that our tortillas are done, we're gonna make these burritos Juarez. So, thing about burritos Juarez, it is a braised pork shoulder that I have braised with, I reconstituted some dried chilies, a little Mexican oregano, garlic, and we braise this down to basically a Mexican pulled pork. The only other ingredients are refried beans, and I got some queso fresco. I chose the queso fresco because I liked it. If you want more of a melty cheese, you can do a Oaxaca cheese, which is kind of a Mexican mozzarella. Those are options. I think traditionally there's no cheese in these burritos, so you can leave it out altogether. That's up to you. So we're just going to fill these, a little bit of our braised pork. Some of the refried beans. And the queso fresco. And we're just going to roll those up. Like that. Set them aside. We're just going to make a few of these, and then the last thing we're going to do is just we're going to get our pan back out that we've cleaned, and we're going to sear these burritos just to get them crispy on the outside. See, these tortillas are pliable. They roll well. They're great for tacos. They're great for fajitas. They're great for these burritos. If you want a video on how to do the filling for these burritos, the burritos Juarez, I actually got it from, shout out to Not Another Cooking Show. It's a great guy, got a big YouTube following. He's in New York City. Does a lot of Italian American stuff, but these came up on his channel. They look great, so I made them, and I literally ate them every day until they were gone because they were so good. So I recommend his channel for sure. The filling is a little complicated. I used a Instapot to try to cut down the cooking time, but you know, if you're gonna braise them in the oven, it's a 3-hour process. I cut it down to about an hour with Instapot, so depends on what tools you have. So now that we got a few burritos rolled, let's sear them off, and we will see how we did. All right, everybody. And we've got our burritos Juarez. You've never heard of this burrito, but once you make it, you're gonna make it a lot. Super savory with the pinto beans. Stick these on side some Mexican rice, and you've got yourself a meal. You can meal prep these ahead of time. You can throw them in the freezer, pull them out, put them in the air fryer. They're very versatile, and they're so good. Make them. You won't regret it.